Hi, I'm Brinton Parson, and I'm here today to tell you a little bit about the Alexander Robertson School. Thank you for joining me. Think back to your own elementary school days and compare the parameters of your experience with what happens here at the Alexander Robertson School. ARS is purely and exclusively an elementary school. Our students range in age from 3.9 years old in junior kindergarten up to 12 years old in 5th grade. And as the defining slogan for Gerber Baby Foods used to declare, babies are our business, our only business. At ARS, elementary school is our business, our only business. There is a distinct benefit to educating children within the confines of a single recognized developmental group. The elementary school-aged child is in its truly formative years, and all child psychologists such as Froebel, Dewey, and Giselle, as well as early educational innovators like Maria Montessori and Jean Piaget, all recognize the fundamental foundations that are laid exclusively and permanently during this time. The early childhood student is vastly different from the elementary-aged child, who in turn is an entirely different animal from the adolescent of the middle and high school years. At ARS, we find that there are important individual differences and wide ranges in developmental rates, especially within the elementary years, and we, with our very small classes and individual approach to education, address those differences admirably. By the time our students have reached 5th grade, unlike students in other schools where the 5th grade students are the youngest in middle school and somewhat daunted and overwhelmed by their relative immaturity at precisely the time when their physiology makes them so vulnerable to feelings of insecurity, the 5th graders here are at the top of the heap. They are the oldest, the most revered, the most elevated and admired group. They are poised to leave here with a confidence level that will serve them well in 6th grade wherever they and their families choose to go. Our goal is to have every 5th grade student attain entrance to whichever school they have chosen, be it independent, parochial, selective public, or zoned public school, and to do well both socially and academically once they are there. We are very active and hands-on and helpful with the individually tailored process of finding and applying to schools for our graduates, and we have a strong placement record to prove it. As parents, your focus will be on what kind of a school you should be looking at now for next year. There are so many good choices here in New York City, but it's hard to prioritize factors of importance. There are families who will simply stay on at a school from inertia. They liked the early childhood program but have not really examined or assessed the elementary program. On the other end of the spectrum, there are families who will choose an elementary program based on the college placement of a school's 18-year-old graduates, which again takes the focus off what it should be. Your immediate priority should be your child's elementary school experience. And although your long-term goal may well be the long-term academic success of your child, choosing an elementary program because you like the high school is often misguided. Practically speaking, it is often impossible to predict what kind of middle and high school will suit your child later in life, but you can easily know what type of elementary school will suit your child next year. There are a set of about 15 commonly recognized attributes that contribute to a student's success in school, and we incorporate developing those attributes through curricular content. At ARS, each grade has its own specific curriculum in each subject area, but there are 3 particular aspects I'd like to highlight for you. First, we have an exciting new math curriculum throughout the school which features the most current approach to building math skills by encouraging mathematical thinking, and then building on that in a continually spiraling format of mathematical reasoning and complexity. Second, another unique feature of our curriculum is our ethics program, which is an unusual area of instruction but is a strong indicator of who we are and what we value at ARS. Third, our single class per grade model allows for enormous autonomy in our faculty, ensuring that the teachers are free to choose specific materials, topics, and activities in which they are as engaged as they expect their students to become. In addition to a well-designed curriculum for each grade which incorporates and then exceeds the core curricular guidelines of New York City schools, our faculty participate in 2 formal faculty meetings monthly, as well as 2 annual professional development days in order to stay abreast of best practices across the board. For example, noted author and speaker Catherine Hayden spent a day training our faculty in creative teaching so that they in turn will inspire creative students. The Smithsonian Science Center has come regularly for professional development and teacher training in their science curriculum. Our teachers discuss important student traits with respect to each of our enrolled students in conjunction with our curricular goals regularly. It is vital that ARS, founded more than 230 years ago in 1789, maintain the valued traditions without being mired in tradition. We strive to hold on to all of the good values while educating today's children for tomorrow's world. Truthfully, nobody knows what that future world will look like for the children at this school now, but strong indicators point to the virtue of small schools where children are trained to think analytically and critically while honing their verbal and written communication skills. The purpose of education is to prepare children to become contributing members of their society. Internationally recognized historian and philosopher Yuval Harari believes that future citizens will need to face not only the unknown, but also the uncertain. Interestingly, uncertainty also reigned when this school was founded by the Scotch Church, with its structure reflecting the Scottish Enlightenment, where an education was valued for everyone, regardless of gender or social class. We maintain both of those traditions. We were the first coeducational school in the city, and we remain co-ed, and ARS sets the lowest possible tuition rates while supporting one of the most generous financial aid programs of any city school. We have a target class size of 9 to 12 students, which perfectly suits our classroom dimensions and designs. We have one class per grade, but our students enjoy an unusual amount of both intentional and spontaneous interaction between and among grade levels, providing a manageable social network from which to choose friends and socialize. Our students enjoy the educational and social benefits of mixing with students both in grades above and below them. ARS celebrates many events throughout the year, and we enjoy a wonderful relationship with both Columbia University and New York University, which frequently send us students from families in which an adult is a visiting lecturer or on a fellowship. Unlike many independent schools in the city, we do not shy away from temporary students. We welcome them with all that they bring and offer, and are far more culturally rich and diverse for it. Last year alone, we had 23 different countries represented in our student body, and this year we expect at least that many. All of these cultures and the fact that we're a celebratory school lead to some very good events throughout any given school year. On a day-to-day basis, the students have a number of classes in their homeroom classrooms taught by their primary teacher. Bolstering our uniquely limited class size, there is a floating assistant teacher for the lower grades, junior kindergarten through grade 2, and a floating assistant for the upper grades, grades 3 through 5. Science is fully integrated into our classroom work through our partnership with the Smithsonian Institution's Science Education Program, and 6 years ago, ARS was the first New York State and New York City school to adopt this program, which is now nationally recognized for its superior content and context. Harkening back to our days as a Scottish church school, our ethics program is also integrated throughout the school and throughout every day. In addition, a weekly class schedule for all grades includes 2 periods each of a foreign language, either French or Spanish, music, art, and physical education, all considered our core curricular subjects. Additionally, we provide 1 period each for classes in library, ethics, cooking, and Mandarin. We also reserve 1 period on Fridays for clubs, which are subjects of interest taught by the faculty and open to the student body, ranging from robotics to Roomba, chess to Chinese, yarn to yoga, along with 1 period also on Fridays for our whole school assembly, to which families and visitors are often invited, because each grade performs a minimum of twice a year. Please note that everyone, truly everyone in the school, has a daily 20-minute silent reading period immediately following lunch. This is a school-wide practice that has been statistically proven to improve reading skills across the board. ARS operates on the Independent Schools Admissions Association of Greater New York school calendar, helping many families with more than 1 child in more than 1 school coordinate their vacation schedules. We are on a trimester system. Each family receives a written report card 3 times a year, in December before the winter break, in March before the spring break, and in June at the end of the school year. There are 2 scheduled family teacher conferences, one in December and one in June, but you are always welcome and encouraged to stay in close touch with all of the faculty and staff at ARS. Our teachers send a weekly newsletter to their families. The 5th grade publishes a newspaper each trimester. There is the head of school blog. We are a close-knit and openly communicative school community, which we hope is not only visible whenever you visit, but is also a feature that will entice you to join us.